So, once again, Nigeria's judiciary is being dragged into the center of a political war. The leadership faction of the Labour Party, led by Barrister Julius Abure, has rejected forcefully the Federal High Court ruling that recognized Senator Nenadi Usman's Caretaker Committee, describing it as a misreading of the Supreme Court and a dangerous intrusion into a party's internal affairs. Abure's camp says the court contradicted itself, ignored an existing National Working Committee, and created what it calls an artificial leadership vacuum, raising serious questions about process, precedent, and judicial consistency. They're heading to the Court of Appeal, warning that this fight is no longer just about party control, but about where the authority of Nigeria's courts ends and where political self-governance begins. So, with appeals looming and accusations of prejudged outcomes and procedural red flags now on the record, the stakes have escalated sharply. Is this a necessary intervention to stabilize a broken party, or a line that courts were never meant to cross?
The court also ordered that INEC should, as a matter of fact, recognize every correspondence from Dr. Nenadi Usman as the valid and the only recognized chairman of Labour Party. The court went further to warn against all this shenanigan and superfluous grandstanding by people who want to run the party at their whims and caprices of running around and on forum shopping, going to court in Jos, going to court in Nasarawa, going to court here and there. The Labour Party, behold your national chair. Madam Chair, congratulations.
I believe that this is not just, it's not victory for Nenadi Usman, no. It's victory for Labour Party, it's victory for all Nigerians who believe in the Labour Party. I would want to seize this opportunity to call on all my brothers and sisters and say there is no victor, no vanquished. Let's come back, work together and build a stronger Labour Party.
Senator Nenadi Usman. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by Ken Eluma Asogwa, Senior Special Advisor on Media Matters to Senator Nenadi Usman. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you, Charles.
Now, the court has affirmed Senator Nenadi Usman as the legitimate leader of the Labour Party. Beyond winning in court, how will you assert authority in a party that's fractured by months of infighting?
Thank you so much, Charles. The authority is already being asserted, and the court has given us the instruments towards asserting that authority. And I want to seize this opportunity to enjoin INEC to do what is necessary for us to assert that authority, because INEC remains the regulatory authority that is very, very pivotal to anyone asserting that authority. And that comes with the recognition of INEC as directed by the court today. The implementation comes from them. And when that comes, then the assertion of the authority is will be underway.
So obviously the court ordered INEC to recognize the Nenadi Usman Caretaker Committee, but that hasn't happened yet, has it?
Well, I don't expect it, even though INEC was in court, but the order hasn't been served them. And I hope that by tomorrow they should be getting that communication from us. But even though INEC was a party to the suit, which ordinarily they should have taken judicial notice of this judgment. But we'll do the right thing, we'll serve them by tomorrow. But that's in straight answer to your question. We haven't gotten any communication from them regarding the judgment.
If unity in the Labour Party does not happen quickly, will you accept that legal legitimacy alone is not enough?
No, you see, I don't know if you went through the statement that was issued by the Labour Party today, and even the statement of the national chairman. And that statement said that she is constituting a National Reconciliation Committee immediately to bring all the warring parties together. So she understands that a Labour Party that is split, a Labour Party that is not cohesive, the Labour Party that lacks cohesion can't win the 2027 election. So, and the moment this judgment was given, the first thing she did was to appeal to the warring parties to sue for peace, to say, look, let's come back together. She said today that this is a no victor, no vanquished situation, and that nobody should celebrate this judgment as we versus them, that Labour Party remains one Labour Party, and that we need this cohesion in order to be able to stand together, to stand tall as an opposition party. So I agree with you that you can have the victory at the court, but you will lose the masses. And we need everybody, all hands to be on deck for us to be able to do the work of the opposition party that we are.
Well, you've got your work cut out for you because, I mean, Julius Abure and his supporters still dispute the outcome and say they'll appeal against the judgment. What is your message to those party members who continue to recognize him?
Well, my message to them is to throw in the towel and embrace peace. The olive branch has been extended to them. You see, I need to give a little background to what transpired today, because when in your intro, you said that they disputed the judgment today on the premise that the Federal High Court tried to overrule the Supreme Court, sort of. You see, what transpired today was that the judge pointedly said that he agrees with the Supreme Court judgment that it is only the political party that can decide what their leadership, who their leadership, or what their leadership, what constitutes their leadership. And the judge went round back the memory lane to rehash what actually happened in Labour Party and what brought us to where we are. You know, what happened was that at some point when Julius Abure's tenure expired, he continued to parade himself as the national chairman of the Labour Party. And on one occasion, he tried to attend the INEC quarterly consultative forum that the national chairman always has with leaders of political party. And under Professor Mahmoud Yakubu's leadership, he attended one of such meetings and he was thrown out. Now, it dawned on us that we had a leadership vacuum. Now, the party, in their wisdom, went back to sit or have a NEC meeting that took place in Umuahia. I'm sure you would have heard about that. The Labour Party NEC meeting that was called by a statutory NEC member, the leader of the party, Alex Oti. Now, that NEC meeting produced the Caretaker Committee chairman as an intervention, as a child of necessity, if I should use the word of the court today. And now, they produced National Caretaker Committee to spearhead the affairs of the party pending a convention. Now, that was that National Caretaker Committee that produced Senator Nenadi Usman. Now, what the court is saying is that in agreement with the Supreme Court judgment, the party sat down when there was a leadership vacuum and created leadership. That so now in going further, now the Supreme Court in going further went further to say that Julius Abure's tenure has long expired. So the issue about Julius Abure's tenure is never in question in the Supreme Court. They said that his tenure had long expired. But what happened was that they didn't make a consequential order to INEC to recognize Nenadi Usman, even though they said that her appeal is hereby allowed. When your appeal is allowed, what it means is that your reliefs sought are granted. But because that consequential order was not made, then some persons felt that people being mischievous felt that they should give some varied interpretations to it. Now today, the Federal High Court gave a consequential order, very direct, very unambiguous, directing INEC to deal with her as the sole authority, as the sole leadership of the Labour Party. So as far as we are concerned, the judgment has been given. But we, like I said, we are celebrating it in a measured tone. We are not seeing it as a victory.
You're not rubbing it in their faces.
Thank you so much.
The point, of course, is that I'm not the one that you need to convince. The people you need to convince to lay down their arms is the Julius Abure faction. And you talk about peace, but is there room for compromise, or is defiance no longer an option as far as you're concerned?
Well, I don't think that question should come to me, because if the court has said that you are the leader, Of course, you are the leader, so you will assume the position. Then when we sit on a table, of course, the issue of negotiation is always give and take. So when we sit on a round table, so many things can be trashed out. But on the issue of leadership, there is a direct pronouncement on who the leader is. So I don't think whether the compromise can extend to that level. When in short, it's even a contempt of court if anybody should go against what the court has pronounced. I want to use this opportunity, Charles, to talk to Nigerians, because when the Supreme Court judgment came, these people came with different interpretations. And now they are beginning to go in that direction by these statements they issued. And what we realized was that after the judgment, they gave their own interpretation and media ran with it. I'm not indicting the media, but they ran with it and started calling him a factional chairman of the Labour Party. And that name resonated until this judgment of today. And I'm appealing to the media that people should, if people sit down and allocate appellations to themselves, Nigerians shouldn't, the media shouldn't validate that. If I sit on your studio to say, I am the president of Nigeria, you shouldn't call me the factional president of Nigeria. I wasn't elected as the president. The court in today's judgment has said that
with all due
this guy
respect,
is
those are two different things. I mean, but let me just say this. You have spoken about Senator Nenadi Usman prioritizing reconciliation. But should those errant party officials expect disciplinary action for resistance? In other words, as I said, is defiance no longer an option? And in order to, because as a leader, you not only have to seek reconciliation, you also have to, impose discipline on the party.
Of course, the laws are there for people to obey, and any law that doesn't come with sanction is as good as a tissue paper. So as far as we are concerned, what we are putting forward is reconciliation. So, but I don't think I have the capacity to sit down and determine for the party whether there should be carrot and stick going forward. But I know that there is a reconciliation move going on within the party. So maybe when that fails, the party might sit down maybe the organs of the party might need to sit down and evaluate the way forward.
Right. It might just be better for you to sack the people from that faction and give yourself a completely new lease of life.
Well, the more the merrier in political parties, and we are not out to fire and hire people or to sack people. It is our hope that we don't get to that situation, and it is our hope that they will embrace the voice of reason and have a reason to rethink.
Right. Well, clearly they're not rethinking at the moment. But, I mean, let's talk about, again, we talked about INEC at the outset. It's been ordered to recognize the Nenadi Usman Caretaker Committee. If INEC delays or hesitates, will you return to court? Will you escalate this politically? Because it is quite possible that INEC will say, well, they've appealed, we're going to await the outcome of the appeal.
No, INEC will not delay because INEC is a responsible institution. INEC is a friend of the courts. They have benefited tremendously from the benevolence of the Nigerian courts. INEC understands that they cannot afford to throw the judgments of Nigerian courts under the bus. They will not join Julius Abure in his madness. So I know that INEC will obey this judgment. Now, on the issue of INEC anchoring their delay on anyone who has gone to appeal on its own, as we all know, does not serve as an automatic stay of execution. So that Julius Abure goes on appeal. And I don't want to preempt anybody by talking about an appeal that hasn't come. That he made a statement today and said he's proceeding on appeal. I don't want to discuss an appeal that hasn't taken place. But what I'm saying here is that in an unlikely event that this happens, INEC cannot anchor their reason on an appeal that has not produced a stay of execution. So, and I know that INEC is a responsible institution. They won't go that route.
Right. Now, this crisis has, of course, exposed weaknesses in the governance of the Labour Party, clearly. What concrete reforms will this Caretaker Committee implement to prevent another leadership breakdown? Because it could happen again.
Yeah.
And again.
Yeah, the truth is that when you are managing human beings, there is always likelihood of grievances.
So when you're managing Nigerian politicians, you can escalate that 100,000 times.
You know, but there are a number of activities that the party has put in place. We are embarking on 10 million drive to recruit 10 million members. And we launched that on the 17th of December, and that process is ongoing, and is ongoing well. So from the feedbacks we are getting from across Nigeria, a lot of people are registering to enter the Labour Party, and our target is 10 million before the end of the 2026. So we have a lot of activities. We are going into our congresses that will culminate into a national convention that will produce a substantive leadership. And I believe that some of these activities will put paid to some of these distractions.
Well, you say that many people are registering, that your aim is to register 10 million people. That's what you say. I couldn't possibly comment. But many supporters were initially drawn to Labour as a cleaner alternative. Has this crisis damaged that image almost beyond repair?
It did some damage to our brand, but you know, the silver lining there is that Nigerians are able to see clearly who is with the people and who is not with the people. And we are with the people. We have the credibility. The leadership that has been validated today.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you can't have credibility when you can't manage your own house. I mean, why should voters trust the Labour Party again if it can't manage its own
The Nigerian
house?
people, if you see the jubilation across Nigeria today, you know that this jubilation is coming as a result of people who feel
You mean jubilation from your chums? Or jubilation from
jubilation
who?
Across Nigerian people,
right,
who you know, you see, when, I just want to paint a scenario for you here. When a thief invades someone's house, I think it will be double jeopardy for you to blame the owner of the house for the invasion of his house by thieves. There was an invasion in Labour Party, and I don't think it will be an overkill to blame us for the invasion that took place. Some persons, some outside forces invaded our party, used some fifth columnists within the party to foist a situation of anarchy within the party. And I am happy that the rebuilding process has just begun and
right,
it's going on well.
Well, 2027, of course, is approaching rapidly. Rival parties are attempting to consolidate power. Is Labour realistically ready to compete in 2027? I'm wondering how much has been lost because of this internal war.
We really have lost some grounds, but like I told you about the activities that we lined up, you know, I'm pretty sure that we are going to regain some of those lost grounds. And the good thing is that the Labour Party leadership today is in the hands of credible Nigerians, credible people that have been tested, that have been trusted. So, and I believe with this, the right leadership we have now, we are going to attract much more credible Nigerians who will recover those lost grounds, I can assure you.
But if Labour remains divided or politically weakened by 2027, will Senator Nenadi Usman accept personal responsibility? Because you're saying the court from here on has now affirmed her. Or will this moment be remembered as a missed chance to reset the party? You're talking about how competent they are. You're competent, and now that apparent competence that you're talking about has been legitimized by the courts.
By the courts, yeah, sure. So, so your question is whether she should share some blame if Labour Party should
from
remain...
here on, if the party remains divided going into 2027 or politically weakened, I mean, will she accept personal responsibility?
You see, Charles, there is something we need to understand here. You see, there is a marked difference between division in a political party and grievances being expressed by people. If there was a division in Labour Party, but the court have put that away. So as it stands today, there is no division in Labour Party.
Yeah, but there's a difference from a legal pronouncement
there are people expressing grievances.
and the facts that are clear for everybody to see, because there are divisions within the Labour Party.
Because,
Still,
you know why the word division? Because we are creating room for someone to start calling himself a factional leader. You know, and these are the things we need to be cautious about to avoid, because it is actually contemptuous of the judgment of courts to refer to him as a factional leader because
I'm not referring to him as a factional leader.
Yeah,
I'm
because
saying
the use
that
of the word
he's
division
appealing against your judgment, I mean the judgment of the court, and clearly there are political divisions within the party. That's a fact.
I agree. We can't close our eyes to the fact that there are people who are aggrieved. And those people who are aggrieved were people who once upon a time, they held sway within the party, they held leadership positions. And like I said, we are going to reach out to them. But if these particular people, after all our appeals, and we are not able to get them on board, it doesn't still stand as, it doesn't still fit into the narrative that there is a division because some insignificant number of people are not able to come back to senses. So as far as we are concerned, there are grievances in every political parties. Even in ADC today, there are people in courts about issues, about leadership. Even in APC that has the government in place. So there are grievances here and there. But like I said, we have extended the olive branch to them, and we are working as seriously to ensure that we reach out to everyone.
Now, the leadership of the Labour Party is currently a caretaker committee. Are there plans for substantive leadership?
It's actually interim national working committee that we have now. The neck of the party has gone further to change the nomenclature to interim national working committee. Now, we have outlined our activities going forward, starting with the congresses that will commence next month and culminating in the National Convention. So when the National Convention takes place, that is when the substantive leadership will be produced. And it is this particular interim national working committee that will spearhead that convention that will produce the substantive.
Right.
And
when you say spearhead the convention, does Senator Usman intend to contest for substantive leadership?
I don't know about that. For now, nobody has declared interest to contest for any position in the party, not even ward chairmanship. So for now, because we've not started selling the forms. So it is when the forms are rolled out that we'll know who is interested.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much indeed for coming in. And I do hope that the problems of the Labour Party are resolved soon enough, because then it strengthens Nigeria's democracy.
Thank you so much.
Ken Eluma Asogwa is Senior Special Advisor on Media Matters to Senator Nenadi Usman. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you.